Sometimes we are interested in finding a common multiple of two numbers. Just like a common factor, a common multiple is just what the name says. Remember, common means shared, like you have things in common with your friends. So, a common multiple of two numbers is just anything that's a multiple of both numbers. For example, 24 is a common multiple of 3 and 4, since 24 is a multiple of 3, and also 24 is a multiple of 4. Now it's important to note that any two numbers will always have a common multiple, which we can find by multiplying them together. For example, 24 and 32 have a common multiple, which we can find by multiplying 32 times 24. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 2 times 2 is 4, which I'm writing in the tens place because the 2 here is in the tens place. 2 times 3 is 6. 8, 6, 7. So 24 and 32 have a common multiple, 768. There may, however, be smaller common multiples. Very often we're interested in not just any old common multiple, but the smallest common multiple. Among the common multiples, of course, one of them is going to be smallest, and this is called the least common multiple. Notice there's a smallest common multiple, but not a biggest one. Anything we multiplied 768 by, for example, would still be a multiple of 32, still be a multiple of 24. So we don't talk about the greatest common multiple. We did, if you'll recall, talk about the greatest common factor, but that's different, isn't it? How do we find the least common multiple? Well, there's a simple way that works, as long as the least common multiple isn't too big. To find the least common multiple, as long as it isn't too big, make lists of multiples of your numbers, and then find the smallest number that shows up on both lists. What if you don't see one? Does that mean there is no least common multiple? No, it just means you haven't got there yet. Right, so let's think again about 24 and 32. Let's say we want to find the least common multiple of 24 and 32. Well, the multiples of 24 times 1 is 24, of course. And I can't forget that one because sometimes it's going to work. Then to get 24 times 2, I just need to add 24 to this. So 24 plus 24, that's 48. Plus 24 is 72. Plus 24 is 96. Plus 24 is 120. And there's more, but I'm going to stop and hopefully I'll find my least common multiple before I get past 120. Multiples of 32. Well, 32 is there. Nothing in common yet. 32 plus 32 is 64. Still nothing in common. 64 plus 32 is 96. Oh, that's on both lists. 96 is on both lists, and it's the first number that is, so it's the least common multiple. And in fact, we'll want to say for sure that it's a common multiple by saying what we need to multiply each number by. Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 multiples of 24. 24 times 4 is 96. 1, 2, 3 multiples of 32. 32 times 3 is 96. So we know that it's the least common multiple, and we can say exactly how. By the way, notice 4 and 3, no common factors. That's always going to happen if we really truly have the least common multiple. I'm going to give you one of these to try. Find the least common multiple of 12 and 16. Pause the video and try this now. Alright, well, multiples of 12. 12 times 1 is 12. Add 12, I get 24. Add 12, I get 36. Add 12, I get 48. Add 12, I get 60. Hopefully I'll be done. I usually list the first 5 multiples when I start. How about 16? 16 times 1 is 16. Add 16, I get 32. Still nothing that's on both lists. Add 16 again, I get 48. Oh, that's on both lists. And now I can stop. 48 is the least common multiple of 12 and 16. In particular, 12 times 4 is 48. 1, 2, 3, 4. 16 times 3 is 48. 1, 2, 3. It's worth noting that sometimes we want to find the least common multiple of a list of 3 or more numbers. We can find the least common multiple of several numbers the same way. We just have to find the first number that appears on all the lists.